Hello and welcome to the demo video for this sales breakdown report. Now, before we get started, let me just explain to you what this report does. The whole purpose of this is to tell you about your sales, where they're coming from, how valuable they are to you, because obviously you may have a situation where you have a high sale item, but the cost of producing or buying or whatever costs are involved in that item could also be quite high. So your actual profit may be lower on certain items that may be a high cost item. So in order to actually analyze where your sales are coming from and how valuable they are to you, I've set up a spreadsheet. So let's just go through the first page. This is the intro and setup tab. First of all, what you do is you select the start month of your year. So you can have this spreadsheet will last you for a year. You can keep a blank copy, start the next year with a new copy, but each spreadsheet will be as per either a calendar year or a financial year. So all you do is you select the month you wish to start, that you wish to start that year. So if your financial year starts 1st of May, then just click May and put in the year here. If you don't complete something correctly, it shows a red cross. As soon as you've got a valid month and year, it'll go to green tick so that you know that it's correct. Your business name, this will be locked in here for security reasons on the paid version. If you do a free download, you can put your own business name in. All right, let me scroll down. Now you've got your months, because based on what you've put in up over here, you'll have your months down here. All the green headers you can't fill in; they're all automated. The red ones you can fill in. So you've got here your months, and you can put in targets. So this is your turnover target for the year, for each month over the year. And then you can also assign each job type. Now, what the job types are is you can assign up to 10 different job types. So you may have different kinds of jobs that come in. You may have different kinds of projects or different kinds of clients, or you might be able to categorize them in some way. So you can put up to 10 different categories in there. The reason for this is just so that you can break down your jobs. So for argument's sake, if you've got large jobs or small jobs or store products or whatever else, you can put those categories down so you can see which of those are actually more lucrative and which of those you're getting from which sources and that kind of thing. And then you can select up to 10 sources. So these are things like networking groups or social media sites or personal referrals or existing clients who have referred, those kind of things. So you can select up to 10 different sources as far as where the work could come from. I would suggest having at least one of them as other, so that you've got that option of other for all the little ones. But you can select up to 10 different ones. You can leave any blank if you don't want to use them. All you do is you put the full name here under the source list, which will show on some of the reports. And then sometimes it needs a smaller space. You can just put a code which refers to that source list. Just make sure that the text fits within there. If your text shrinks too much, you may not be able to see it on the other reports. So that's just your source list of where the work could come from. And you set all of this up at the beginning, and that will then set up your spreadsheet with the respective drop-down lists. And then all that's left to do is, as and when you receive sales, capture them. So as you can see, I've put some in here. The date down the left-hand column, so you just put in the date. The invoice number, this is just for your records, so you can refer back to it. You don't need to put that in if you don't want to. Your sales value, so the value of the sale. And then on this column, you can select the job type. So as you select the drop-down list, it will have the different options that you've put in on the first page. So you just select the job type that it is. You can put in a client name. Client names on the drop-down is obviously because it could be anything, but just make sure if you do add a new client that you spell their name correctly as you've done before. Otherwise, it won't put it to that client, because on your report you can also see by which ones are your top clients. Then if these time used and cost prices, you may not use both of them. Sometimes there's times not involved. Sometimes you're just buying an item for a certain price and selling it at another price. You can leave this column blank. Other times you may not have a cost price. It might just be your services, your time that you're using. Then you can put in time used in your sales value. Sometimes you may have a sales value, a cost price of items and time. For argument's sake, if you're selling hampers and you're buying the products for the hamper and then you're spending time putting the hamper together, then you'd use all three. So you can choose which ones of those are relevant to you. If you leave one of them blank, one column blank, it doesn't matter. All it means is you just won't get reports relating to cost price. It'll show your profit as that, but then divided by your time. So it all depends on what your services or what products you're selling as to which of those columns you'll fill in. But the more information you put in, the more information you'll get out. That's the rule of thumb. Now the last thing is these different groups over here. These are all of your sources. And all you need to do is for each job, now you may not know this, but this will hopefully get you to ask this question, because it's obviously quite important. Where are these jobs coming from? And this is what the spreadsheet boils down to. So you'll have the different sources that you've put in along the top, and all you do is you can assign each of these jobs to any one or more of these sources. So you just put in a percentage. So for argument's sake, this one over here, I said 50% Facebook and 50% networking. Maybe I met someone in networking who's then gone to my Facebook account because of the networking and has had a look around, and because of that has bought something. So you can put it down to in any of these. You can put down 5% here, 10% there's 20% here, 30%, whatever, as long as it equals up to 100%. So how do you know if it equals up to 100%? Well, you don't even need to check it. You just go to the end here and it tells you what your total is for that row. So just make sure that it equals 100. If you don't know where it came from and there's no way of finding out, you can just leave it blank. If you leave them all blank, it won't show as an error. It will show as an error if you put some in and they don't equal to 100%. So that's all you need to do per sale. Now it seems like a fair bit, but obviously a lot of this you would know. This you might just need to ask, but it's a good exercise to get into, to actually asking those questions. And as you fill these in, your reports will populate. So what do we see on the report? Well, the monthly report, it's got a list of your months down here. You just select the month that you want to see. So we say June, it changes. If we say no, we want to actually go back and we would like to see May. You can see everything changes accordingly. So it shows you all sorts of figures. It shows your sales for the month, your cost for the month, your time worked, profit earned per hour. It shows you your sales compared to your budget, where your sales are, where was your target that you set for yourself. You can see your source category breakdown, so you can see all the different sources and the different job types and what percentage has been allocated to each of those. So you can see which ones are working well for you and which ones aren't, which ones could be working a little bit better. And those will change. You can select any one of the months within the year that you've inputted. And then the final report is actually one of the longest reports you've done in a while, but this one is a lot of information based on that data. So I'll go through very quickly what this is, but you can have a look at this in more detail. You've got your monthly breakdown of your time worked, sales, and cost. As we scroll down, you've got your various figures that you had on the monthly report for your sales. This is for the overall year. Let's go down. You've got your monthly breakdown. So each month, you've got your monthly breakdown as far as time worked and your profit per hour is concerned. That's if you're using your time. If you haven't inputted times, that'll obviously be blank. You can scroll down as well. You can see your different sources and your allocation percentage for each of the sources, and a value as to how much money of your income can be attributed to each of these different sources. So you can see which ones are performing better. You can scroll further down. You can see your different types of jobs and all the different breakdowns of each of those different kind of jobs. So you can see which ones per hour are more lucrative, or sales, which ones a profit is more lucrative. You can see percentage of profit, all those kind of things along here. So you can have a look based on your different job types. Scroll on yet further, that's also your different kind of jobs, and it shows your cost and your profits on each of those jobs, as well as your average profit per hour. Scroll down here, your top 10 clients. It ranks your top 10 clients based on sales. It shows you the cost according to those clients. It shows you how many of them, how many invoices, how many sales you've done for them, your basic profit per hour, and the time worked for each of those different clients. And here you can see your sales and your cost and your profit per hour overall, which is just able to show you. The graph doesn't really look that great here because you've only got 2 months, but once you've got full 12 months, you'll see your red mountains, as I call them, will be up and down your costs. Your sales will be above that, hopefully, so you can see your profit, and then you can see your profit per hour, how that actually works on yours according to your data entered. And lastly, if you scroll down further, you've got your last two graphs, which is quite a nice comparison from the point of view of having your different job types and having your different sources across the top. So you can see straight away that LinkedIn for large jobs is good. Networking for large jobs is also good. You can scroll down as well and see your profit as well. Where the darkest green bits, your profit comes from large jobs found on LinkedIn. So it shows you where your marketing efforts have been successful and what kind of job you're doing. So all of these reports, and I would suggest, I'm not going to go through all of them in the video, but go through them on the free trial. Have a look at the annual reports, have a look at the monthly reports, and all the information you get just from entering one line worth of data per job, per sale, as far as where it's coming from and the figures. But just remember, obviously, to set it all up in the first place here so you can choose what those job types and what those sources are. So I hope that that makes sense to you, and I hope that that's really beneficial to your business, and I wish you all the best. Thank you and goodbye.